felt like I had something up there. I did not. that was a gross one. Listen, the wisdom isn't always pretty. Sometimes the wisdom is dirty and gross, but it's wisdom.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because I was trying to go. I thought I had like something like up there, like lodged in my teeth. So I was like, hey, sometimes my wisdom isn't like pretty or glamorous.
I don't know. I had my wisdom teeth removed, so my wisdom is always pretty and glamorous.
Damn.
Get on my level.
Hello and welcome to the YASEcast. I am Lamo. That's right. Still Lamo. Still lame after all these years. This is episode 16. Joining me today, I have Morgan.
What's up? It's me.
And I have Velius.
Hey.
And we are keeping it classic with the original three-piece and a biscuit coming at you live from the base.
We have no biscuit. I'm sorry.
I had a biscuit earlier today. I had Popeyes for dinner. That counts.
Oh damn!
It was good. It was real good, y'all. It hit the damn spot.
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
Have you had the sandwich?
Oh yeah, that's what I had.
Is it good?
It's good. It's a solid chicken sandwich. Like, it's not life changing. It's not worth like what the craze was in the beginning. Like when it first came out, where like people were like lining up for hours and shit. No, but like it's a real solid chicken sandwich sold at a good price.
Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, I could have a cheat meal. I haven't had meat in like over a year at this point, but like there's like something about that sandwich. It just calls to me, and I have to know.
I feel like going from no meat to immediately jumping into fried chicken sandwich might fuck you up. That might fuck you up real bad.
Oh, I know. Like, what is it? The last time I had meat was because the deli here put bacon on my burger. And I was like, well, they already made it. So it's like, it's here. And I'm not going to give it to my dog because it's probably going to make her sick. So I ended up eating it. And then I had like wild stomach cramps and like nausea from just the worst, like, greasiest thing I could put in my body. And it's like, oh, my body forgot how to eat meat.
That makes sense. I believe it.
Yeah, it was wild.
Okay, holy shit. So, before we started recording today, I was trying to get something going on my computer, and I accidentally clicked too fast, and it installed WinZip. Turns out it also installed Avast free antivirus, because that just popped up and said, thank you for choosing to install Avast free antivirus. And then it was like, change your mind, click here to uninstall. So I clicked that, which, thinking, wow, what a nice thing for them to offer. Realizing that this situation happens a bunch. Setup is already running. You cannot uninstall right now. It's like, motherfucker.
Then why even have the prompt?
What? Yeah.
Just to fuck you.
See, you were trying to install at level 1, and they were at like level 4 Yomi.
You
got mixed. You actually got mixed by that antivirus.
Absolutely got the schmicks up.
I gotta fucking hold this shit right now. An attempt is being made to uninstall Avast. Fuck you.
So how does it feel being sent back to 2012?
Bad. They're saying, why are you uninstalling Avast? There's like a whole bunch of like little like buttons. Last one is other, please specify.
Like the exit survey. It's like you just quit your job and they need to like do app processing. I hate Avast so much.
No, this is the worst. I swear to God, if this fucks up my recording, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, it would be terrible. But let's just like hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Where were we? So what have y'all been up to this past week?
We had just introduced everyone, so we were like very early in it.
This is a Monday-ass Tuesday, y'all.
Now the YASEcast got hit with the schmicks up.
Yeah. The schmicks comes for us all. Ask not for who the schmicks tolls. It tolls for thee.
Lima, you just said it was Monday. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, I said yeah. So this is a Monday-ass Tuesday.
Yeah, this is a Monday-ass. Okay. This is a Tuesday with.
I heard Monday twice. I'm having a stroke.
Oh no,
that's bad.
The
schmicks. It's come for him. No.
I'm next.
The heat index in Baltimore has been fucking ridiculous today.
Oh yeah, it's miserable here. Like I'm in DC, but we're like heat index well over 100.
Summer is the worst season.
Maybe I got 104.
Woo!
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I don't even have central air. I just have this fucking one measly window unit and a fan, and then that's it.
That's bad. That's really bad.
That's really bad.
Trying to play stuff on my PS4, and I can just hear it just go. I'm just like worried it's gonna explode.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's just hope that doesn't happen.
God,
I'm gonna say it again.
Anyway, back to the point of departure.
Summer is the worst season. It's the worst season, like free. Absolute bottom of the tier list.
At least we're not in Farmington Hills.
Yeah, I could deal with summer if pools were open, but we have a global pandemic going on, so I can't go to the pool.
S tier, fall, followed very slightly by spring, then winter, then summer. And like, I live where it gets cold. I will take
That's
that.
True. You live in the Dakotas.
I will take like -20, -30 winter, which is the shit I have to put up with. I will take that over summer. I goddamn hate the summer. It's the worst.
I hated summer until summer fashion happened, but now I have summer fashion and nowhere to go, and it sucks.
It's the worst. There's nothing enjoyable about it. There's no pools. Can't show off summer fashion. At least in the winter, it's like, fuck, I don't want to go outside anyway. It's cold out.
You get cozy. You make some cocoa. Maybe
you get cozy. Sweaters and hoodies and scarves.
Ooh,
I love a good scarf.
Winter fashion, low key, may be the best season.
You can pull off some fucking looks in winter.
Winter's up there. Fall is up there. I think, honestly, personally, spring and summer are pretty low for me.
Spring and fall are like so close to me. Like depending on the day, one can top out the other. But I like fall better because fall you get those fall flavors. You get the pretty ass leaves.
Everything. Pumpkin.
I'm just thinking about fashion, but it's like, I think in terms of like aesthetics, fall is like. That's also when the pumpkin spice latte comes around, and like, that's a holiday
delicious.
right there.
Oh man!
Soon, I don't know where this year went. It's like I feel like it was like March. I got the email to just go work from home, and then all of a sudden, like my birthday's on the 5th of August, and I'm like, my birthday's in what?
Your birthday's in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That fucked me up because I was like, oh my god, it is almost August. I looked at the calendar in the corner of my monitor, and I'm like, oh shit.
Wait, you're a late July birthday?
No, I'm in April. I'm just saying, like, I just looked up at the clock and I was like, oh shit, it's July 21st right now.
Yeah, I don't know where July went. I feel like March took forever, and like March and April took forever, and then like time has just like disappeared since then. It's
fucked.
And my
it's absolutely fucked.
My work-life balance keeps getting worse, and that's what's really fucked. And I know we gotta move on and check in eventually, but like that's been like. Maybe I can kick off, and like that'll be my check-in. Work-life balance is hard to manage right now, because it's just like talking to someone just last night about it, where I wanted to really set up, especially when I changed jobs recently. I wanted to have like a dedicated space, and like this is where I go and this is where I work. And trying to maintain that space is hard because it was on my dining room table. The chairs aren't comfortable. You're not really designed to sit in that cold wooden chair for 8 hours. So then I started working part of the day on my couch, and that's turned into the whole day on my couch. And it's like really wearing at me because I'm starting to feel less and less like there actually is a line between work and being at home.
Yeah.
And like it is really been getting to me because what you start to realize is like you're kind of always at work. And if you have downtime at work, ordinarily I would like put on a podcast or something, but like I don't feel that anymore. I feel like really rigid and alert because like that separation isn't there.
Yeah.
I never thought I would miss commuting, but like the commute is like a good bookend of like, I show up and I leave. But when it's just like you were on your couch anyway and now you just flip your laptop open.
It's like what's the difference between as if I had the day off and like when and if I'm quote unquote at work, right? Because there's no more separation there. Like, what do you do to relax? It's like, oh, I'll go on my computer. It's like I've been on my computer on the couch like all day already.
Yeah, and it's like I have, you can see it because we're on video when we're recording. But like I have like my desktop, and that's like I'm trying to say like I don't go to my desktop. Like that has to be like I am not there during work. But even then I'm like slipping because like I'll have to go like read or approve a PDF or something, and it's just easier to do it on my desktop than it is to do it on my laptop. So it's like even that line, like that like last bastille of work-life balance is starting to slip, and like that's been like the major thing for me. Especially because it seems like I would be surprised if I end up going back into my office, like sometime this year even.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept telling myself it's going to be another week or another 2 weeks or another month. And suddenly it's August. And I don't think I'm going back anytime before like this fall. So it's sort of like that was also a thing that really hit me. It's like not how much time has passed, but like it's probably not going to get better. I've kind of given up on the whole like maybe another month.
Yeah. I hear you. I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday because, or was it today? I don't even remember. But anyway, we were talking about how like she's been overworked at her job and she really needs to take a break. And told her like really just see if we can just take a vacation, take a couple days off. And she's like, where am I going to even go?
That's where I'm at.
I can't really go anywhere.
That's yeah, like my birthday's in less than like just over 2 weeks. I'm turning 31, and I'm sitting here like I had such high hopes for this year. I was gonna, I've never left the continental U.S. I was gonna do that. There were gonna be tournaments. There was gonna be all kinds of stuff, and like that just isn't materializing. And I'm trying to get the motivation to celebrate and do something for my birthday, but it's just like how where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
One thought I have now, and we'll see if I can pull it together, is to like maybe rent an Airbnb somewhere, either like North Carolina or somewhere out in West Virginia, and like rent a cabin for a night or two, and just like my girlfriend and I take my dog and we go like stay in a cabin for a bit or something, or board my dog somewhere, and like that's an idea. Drive out to Point Pleasant, go see the Mothman Museum. That would rule, because Mothman is real and he is gay and he is my friend.
Breaking news, Yace has signed Mothman to the team.
Fuck yeah.
Mothman, welcome to the Resistance.
Welcome to the squad, Mothman. Speaking of
right.
Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne remake, welcome to the team, Mothman. Got all the elements now.
Mothman, here are your honorary Rick Owens dunks.
I guess like that's my check-in. Sorry, I just needed to vent for a second
No,
about
you're
that.
good.
It's just been rough. Beyond that, I've been playing and watching a lot of Gundam.
Hell yeah. Velius, how's it been? How's it shaking?
Just been busy with the usual. So my hours at work got restored, almost, not quite to what they were, but almost. So I've been working a lot, and I've been moving the rest of my stuff over to my new apartment, which has taken me a few extra weeks than I anticipated. So other than that, I've just been playing. I don't know why, but I felt very strong pirate vibes, so I picked up. Well, I didn't pick up. I've had it on my PS4 for like 6 years, but started playing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag again, because it's basically like if you made an adult Wind Waker.
That sounds interesting and not what I was expecting.
Yeah. I haven't really spent too much time with fighting games lately, other than a little bit of CVS2, because I felt really strong impulses to play Cammy. So, picked up CVS2 for a little bit. But other than that, I've been sailing the Caribbean for like 15 hours now. And I just picked up a book earlier today that I'm going to read. It's about the Baltimore task force and the corruption in the Baltimore Police Department. So that would be a great great pick me up.
Something just nice and late.
It's a bit of light reading.
Yeah, there you go.
When I'm trying to go to sleep at night, I'll just pick up and read a chapter in this book about the Baltimore Police Department planting toy guns on people so that they had a justification to shoot them. Real calming work.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed Black Flag, eh?
Yeah. How about those pirates?
I've actually never been like a big Assassin's Creed fan. Like, I think I played most of 1 and most of 2. Then I was like, this story goes so far off the fucking rails. Like, I can't with this anymore. Then someone's like, nah, Lama, hear me out. Black Flag. You don't do any of that shit. You just be a pirate. And I was like, all right, I'm kind of into this. And he's like, check this out. Because this is my friend who I was rooming with during college. And he's like, I'm just sailing around. And my sailors start singing sea songs. And I was like, ah, shit. He was like, you can learn new songs. I was like, fuck.
No!
This is great. This is a great pirate game.
It really
And then I never played it. And then I never played it, like, at all. But I hear it's great. And I hear it'd be exactly my kind of shit.
I mean, they just randomly, like, when you're sailing around, they'll just randomly start singing shanties, which is great. So
love a good
hear
shanty.
all these old English songs just get put out literally into the ocean. I mean, like, you've all been subjected to me talking about Monster Hunter World for, like, the past week or 2 weeks at this point. Because I got re-addicted and immediately put another 50 hours onto my existing save file. So it's
Goddamn.
That'll happen.
I've been doing a lot of hunts
way.
to get back into shape. Because when I first got back into it, I was still using gear from the base game. And I was like, this isn't going to work. So I set out to, get some actual Master Rank gear. Now I have Master Rank gear, so now I'm hunting everything that I can again. So I just got to the midway point after doing a shit ton of hunts to get the gear that I actually wanted to use, which for me is the Odo Garen set. Because it's
Oh yeah, the Odo Garen set's actually super good.
Was that
was
that the
great
red
longsword?
That's Red Dog.
Is it? Am I thinking the right monster? The right
Big
build?
Red.
Close is the Red Dragon. Odo Garen is like a red dog, kind of like
Yeah,
a maroon
it's a
color.
dog that causes bleed
So they're the one you find in like not the swamp, but like
in the
that
Rotten
gross
Vale.
ass area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You first
yeah.
fight in the Rotten Vale.
And Blighttown, yeah.
In
the
in Monster
area.
Hunter
Yeah.
Blighttown?
Yeah,
The ghost area of the game.
it's more or less Blighttown.
It is. Like, you said that, and I hate it, because, it's absolutely correct.
It's Blighttown.
It's like
Hold on, wait. Does the frame rate dip really bad when you go there? Because I don't remember that.
I've had some issues on the PC, the PS4 version. Gotta go fight
Blighttown.
Beetlejuice in Blighttown in Monster Hunter World.
What a sentence. What a time to be alive.
This is where we are now.
The crossover we needed.
And they do have Resident Evil stuff in Monster Hunter World, so why not?
Oh, that's
Beetlejuice?
right, you can...
What?
Yeah, there was a Resident Evil crossover now.
What enemies from Resident Evil got brought over?
I don't know if it was enemies, but, like, you can, let me look it up real quick. I remember, like, I saw a couple things where, like, it's mostly outfits.
Yeah, it
And-
wasn't like enemies. It was definitely
okay.
gear and like stickers and shit like that.
Okay, like how they had with Street Fighter, like way back when you could get like reuse.
Yeah, you could, like,
reuse
get
gi
Ryu and
stuff.
get stuff. So you
I was
you-
thinking like you would be fighting like Nemesis in Monster Hunter. I'm like that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Mhm.
That would also be terrifying. That would be really terrifying, but it would be pretty cool.
Where is it? Because I know there's a thing with Mr. X, and it's really, really, like, it's goofy.
I think the handler has an outfit for Mr. X.
Yeah, you can dress
She
the handler up
dresses
as the
up as Mr.
tyrant.
Oh,
Monster Hunter is a cool game with cool collaborations.
I still love the Final Fantasy crossover collaboration they had. Rather.
Oh, with
Collab
Behemoth?
crossover, whatever you want to call it.
I find that actually, even the Monster Hunter content crossover in Final Fantasy XIV is really fun. Where you actually like fight a Rathalos and it doesn't follow MMO rules; it follows Monster Hunter rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually have like mega potions that you have to.
And you have to do the
Like, have to
drinking
use in game
animation,
for
like to
healing,
drink
yeah.
them in the final
And
phase. Yeah, it's so
Actual
good.
healing doesn't do anything at a certain point. You have to only potions. It's really cool. And then you can actually cart if you cart 3 times. It's
Yeah,
over.
if you cart 3 times, like you don't like go through. You can be res normally and everything, but if you cart, you lose. It's so good. It's so much fun.
It's so cool. Yeah.
I know we played a little bit of Monster Hunter, and like that game is just like it's a vacuum. And I feel like every time I play it, I'm just like, I could just keep playing. Like, especially with the addition of Iceborne, it added so much content. And they just added more stuff. So like, what is the Rage? Like, since the last time I played, they've added like 2 new sub species. They just added Alatron. You know, the Master Rank Kulthoth or Kul whatever the first siege quest was.
Kulv something. The one with the gold.
The one with the gold. That one. Yeah. And like that's now in there, and it's like there's so much content in that game. And like I don't know. I'm sure we're gonna play more at some point, and it's always so much fun.
Gotta hope so, because I've been saving Barioth hunts for you, Morg.
I love that Barioth. I love the snow cat.
I really do wish that the so obviously, you know, like I wear all black all the time, so it's like I was hoping that the Ebony Odogaron set would be really good, but it doesn't really have the skills I'm looking for in a greatsword, so I went with the regular one.
You can use it for layered armor, can't you? Isn't that a thing they added where you can just like have like the aesthetic of an armor set?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. I'm not at the point where I can do that just yet, so I was hoping they would be functional.
Oh, you have to unlock it.
Yeah, because you know, obviously I'm all about aesthetic, so really am looking forward to unlocking all the special, you know, look as pretty as you want, make it Fashion Hunter world.
Gotta play dress up.
That was like
if you are playing Monster Hunter to look good, like what are you even doing?
I mean, but then Behemoth came out and completely fucked up the entire melee game for the base game, you know. So if you were using some kind of sword, you were using the Behemoth armor set, and then you only had whatever layered armor existed there. So now that you can actually pick and choose what armor you want to have layered armor for, now you can look the way that you actually want to look in its entirety, not just whatever layered armor is existing right now.
Oh, cool.
So
what about you, Lamo?
So on my end, let's see. Last time I checked in, I was talking about Destiny and how they started an event that I can't even remember the name of right now, but essentially it's their end of year event, so to speak. An end of year for the game, obviously, not end of year. Where the idea is that you're revisiting a lot of old content, you're going back and doing new things, and it's usually a really good time. There's just about every single year they do this too. There's a set of like time-sensitive triumphs that last from now until the end of the event, and generally go and do those. And if you do a certain amount of them or certain triumphs that are on there, you'll get a code emailed to you from Bungie to go, hey, you can go buy this cool like limited edition thing on our shop now. And usually that's like pretty. I know that sounds probably pretty tacky, but a lot of the things they have are actually really cool. Like some of it's like actual clothing, which while I don't usually ever wear like game related clothing, I would actually pick up some of these things. There's a shirt, I know in a previous episode I mentioned like that it was a similar thing for raids where if you beat it in the first week it comes out, you can buy like an actually really nice jacket. So
cool.
Stuff like that's been going on. So my Destiny playing has kind of kicked up quite a bit over the past 2 weeks while I go through to do a lot of that content. Just this past weekend, I finished doing the last raid that they're phasing out. So like, if you do all 5 of these raids or whatever during this period, you can buy like a raid ring that has like the raid symbol on it, which is whatever. Don't really care about it. But I want to be able to do the stuff anyway. And it means that a lot of my friends who I used to play with are now coming back to the game to do these things. So we're revisiting a lot of older content. And some of the things that I've actually found that's really cool is that a lot of these raids that they kind of phased out from being current activities are giving you relevant gear or gear in the power range that you kind of need. They're so fucking good, and it makes me sad. Like, we went through in the last one we actually did, called Crown of Sorrow. It has like some of my favorite mechanics, has some of my favorite encounters, and I was like, shit, I wish this was one. I wish this wasn't going away, but two, I wish there was something where they kept all these raids relevant. Like, okay, maybe you can't do all of them to get like stronger gear for reaping. Maybe it's like, you know, if you do 2 or 3, get powerfuls from those or whatever. Like, I want to be able to keep doing this content that now I really like and wish wasn't going away. But it's while it's sad to see them go, I mean, it's also opened up conversations about what can we be doing to, well, I say what can we be doing as if I have any actual say in Bungie or Destiny, but people are having more detailed conversations on what makes good content and what makes a raid good, what makes for good raid mechanics, what's a rewarding end game like loop for progression. It's all these interesting conversations are kind of popping up around now, which makes it a very interesting time to be a bit more active in the community too. So I'm still enjoying that, but Destiny aside, this actually came in yesterday. I picked up a Mister, which is it's a little tiny microcomputer. The really easy way to think about it is, hey, what if a Raspberry Pi was like super good and could like emulate the actual hardware of retro consoles instead of just doing like software emulation? So that's what I have, and I'm trying to set that up into being like a retro streaming station right now, and I need more time to actually mess with it, which I have not had lately. But hopefully by next week I'll be able to have an update on that.
So, like, circling back to Destiny, so when you say, like, it's going away, isn't, like, you can't play it at all?
Yep. They are removing content from the game. Because right now the game is about, like, 90 gigabytes.
Ah, that's a lot.
The game is very big. So part of that is, hey, if we want to keep adding things onto it, which they are, they're like, we need to get rid of a lot of the content that's already here that people aren't playing. And so they're getting rid of like planets and things that there's no real reason to be going back to them, which makes sense. I'm actually super fine with that. And the way they're actually doing it right now is like the storyline is that you have to evacuate these planets that are being more or less invaded. And so it's like, hey, go and do these things here as like a one last time to like go back and revisit some of this content and these areas and the people there. So, you know, hey, we're going or doing this quest lines. It's, you know, nothing outside of the usual, hey, do a couple of public events. Hey, go do this mission. Hey, go do however many bounties. Simple shit like that. But the idea of, oh, hey, it's being invaded now. Go get people out of there and get supplies by doing this is pretty neat. And there are like custom like world events that are going on as part of it too. So it's a fun time to be back in the game.
That's interesting. So the I think we've talked about this before, that it's like Destiny is it's something I've dabbled in but never really like committed to.
Yeah.
That's kind of I see where you're coming from. Like, I imagine like I'd be very sad about that, to see like old content going away in games. Like my touchstone right now would be like Final Fantasy 14. And there were like little things that are in that game to keep people playing old raid content, whether it's roulettes or farming for mounts, etc.
Yeah.
But that's a bummer to like, especially to go back and have this incentive to be like, oh yeah, like I like this fight. I'm trying to think like what would it be like if they were just like, hey, you know, we're streamlining the leveling process. We're taking out like the Heaven's Ward trials or something. Like they're just not there anymore. Or there's no reason to run it. They never show up anymore. And I'm like, I would be sad if I never had to like never fought Nidhogg again, or never fought any of the other like Heaven's Ward primals. Or like heaven forbid like old content but like relatively recent, like I love the Stormblood fights. I would miss Susano. I would miss those awful voice lines. Not awful, I love them actually, but like fight me in glorious
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think with, at least with Destiny, you're repeating a lot of these activities so much, like a lot, that I have no problem seeing them go, but I've also put over 800 hours into the game, so there's a lot of things that I've done a lot of times. So definitely some mixed feelings, but I don't know. I definitely see both sides of it. It sucks to see it go, but also like I realize why it's going. So I don't know. There are also going to be cycling some things back in eventually too. They're also cycling in some Destiny 1 content in the fall. They're bringing back the original Cosmodrome area, which was like the first area you explored in D1, as well as Vault of Glass, the first raid from Destiny 1 also. So I'm super excited to go and do that again, just because hey, it was the first like raid activity in any kind of game that I ever did where it required like more than 3 other people to be like well coordinated in what you're doing. So I'm actually super excited to go back and do that. I'm very sentimental about that raid.
All right. Well, I hope you get to do that. And like maybe they have some kind of like they pull in a rotation system or something for content. But it sounds like if size of the game is the issue, then maybe that's unlikely.
They mentioned they are going to bring things back eventually and cycle other things out. So we haven't even gotten to the phase where they actually have cycled anything out yet. So who knows what that's going to actually look like when it's implemented. But we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. Doing a big stretch.
Now you're moving into like during podcast stretches?
Yeah. It's been a day. It's been a day, and then it's going to be a night.
You know what? You're valid.
Thank you.
You're valid. Stretch all you need. But that's a good one. It actually looks satisfying. You got like the good upper arm stretch there.
Yeah. It's so good. Hey, listeners, go ahead and do some stretches right now. Stretch that arm out. It feels so good.
The first official YASEcast guided meditation.
Yeah, sure.
Guided audio graphic yoga experience.
The graphic yoga. Graphic Yoda. Oh God, no.
Okay.
I don't want to think about that.
It's reminds you like all those shirts. Never mind. Like,
No,
that's
no.
not
Anyway.
a tangent I want to go on.
Anyway, the moving on.
Moving on. I wasn't thinking of anything indecent.
Oh, God.
I was thinking about like those like wild ass like 90s Yoda shirts. Remember when there was like that aesthetic of like, what if Looney Tunes?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing stuff like with Yoda and he's got like big chains on and stuff. I'm like, I don't understand this. And that's kind of where I got with graphic Yoda. So rinse your fucking brains out with soap because I wasn't thinking anything indecent. I was thinking about edgy Looney Tunes Yoda.
I was thinking about Bugs Bunny with the chain. Yeah, God, I remember those shirts.
I know.
So someone in high school had one, and I don't remember. It was probably Bugs Bunny, but it's like he was like, it was like Scarface team with the cocaine, but swap in Bugs Bunny instead of Scarface.
You've seen
that's the guy's name, right? Scarface.
That's definitely. I think his name is Al Pacino.
Okay.
But it's like the you've seen the meme where it's like Lord forgive me, I have to go back to the old me. It's like Bugs Bunny holding a gun. It's like
that was it. That was that aesthetic.
Yeah,
it was awful, and I hope it never comes back. It's the worst.
It's like how can we make Looney Tunes relevant in like the late 90s to early aughts, and they just like didn't do a great job with it.
Wait, were those like officially licensed?
They like probably were.
Oh, no.
It was the bad dog age of Looney Tunes.
For a second, I thought you meant to say Big Dog's age of Looney Tunes. And I was like, oh man, now what if we went there?
We can, because like I think we're going to with this topic actually.
Oh boy. Okay, we'll see. So the big thing we wanted to talk about today was the idea of redemption stories, of whether it's in games, in movies, music in some cases. What makes for a good redemption story? What makes for a bad redemption story, maybe even? And what some of our favorites are.
I can think of my favorite because I have recently been reminded of it via discovering the fighting game adaptation of Les Miserables.
Okay, I thought I knew where you were going. I don't think I know where you're going anymore.
I mean, that's it's the archetype in my brain zone. When I think of like a redemption story, I think of Les Miserables and I think of Jean Valjean. And I think what makes it work is the idea that like redemption is work, and it's not like anything where where he steals the silver, he steals the bread, and his life at that point is like penance, and so it makes it sort of it feels cathartic to see someone like do the work to try to actively be better, and you get invested in the character, and you recognize moments where he might slip, but then he doesn't because he's Jean Valjean. He's basically a Christ character. But then you get into the fighting game adaptation, Armed Joe, and it's definitely a struggle to play that character because he is not very good, and he is still paying for it in there. Armed Joe is like, it blows my mind that game was made. And it's like by one guy over the course of 5 years. It was just like, we need a Les Miserables fighting game. And then I'm going to put in Robo Jean Valjean as a character.
I fucking love the dedication someone had to say, you know what? I'm going to make a Les Miserables fighting game. Like, who does that?
Oh, it's absolutely my bullshit. It's absolutely my bullshit. There's generic cop whose name is just Police, and he has Akuma's moveset from ST.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
It's not a good game, but it's a very good game.
Yo, yeah, there he is. His name's just Police.
His name is just
There's a character called Practice Mode that's just a robot you can fight.
Yeah.
Who is this? There's someone in there named Judgment that looks like it's All Might from My Hero Academia.
No, he's Baki's dad from Baki the Grappler.
What?
He's literally Yajiro Hama. That is that character.
I love this. I love this so much.
So good. Anyway, redemption stories. Man. I don't know. I think redemption stories don't really pop up a lot in the media that I consume. So I'm interested to see what you guys bring to the table of like good examples you can think of, and like what makes them work. Because I think oftentimes I feel I get like cheated is the wrong word, but I feel like they're not earned in the way that they're written, and it's sort of like a character just sort of pops up and is like, I have changed, and everyone else is like, cool, you're great now.
Immediately accept them. Yeah.
The immediate acceptance, where I feel like redemption should be, it's work. And I think that it's hard work to write into fiction, into media, because you have to be invested in the journey, and you have to like want the character to succeed, and there has to be the drama of whether or not they're going to fail. It's a lot.
And that kind of brings me to the first thing I wanted to mention as kind of a bad example, but also what I think is a lot of people's first. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of people's, but one of my first examples with a kind of redemption story, which was Final Fantasy IV. You start the game as Cecil the Dark Knight, and then about half an hour to an hour in, he's like, I'm a paladin now. Man, that government's fucked. They're really blatantly evil. And it's just like, oh, okay, I guess you're good now. But we also caught you at like the very tail end of it, where the extent of him being bad was, I'm going to use this move called Dark Force on some enemies that does a lot of damage, or whatever it was called. Which, I love the idea of seeing any character turn towards the light and have that change of heart and reshape who they are. But they don't quite... Their ordeal for redemption, them trying to do the work, was them climbing a mountain. And then someone said, hey, you're good now.
I believe that also happened in the Bible.
It did.
Yeah, are you criticizing the Bible on this podcast?
I'm just saying.
That also happened in Thus Spoke Zarathustra. So now we're incorporating Nietzsche into this.
Okay, so now we've reached nihilism. What episode are we on? 16?
Wow,
only 16 episodes to get to nihilism.
Wow. Well, that's it. That's a wrap on YASEcast.
That's it. This is
series
now the
finale.
It's going to replace the rest of this recording with white noise, and if you listen to the void also listens to you.
If you smooch the void, the void will smooch you back. Be good to the void, folks.
I got nothing after that.
Yeah. Good. All right. Bringing it back. Good redemption stories. Morgan, I know there's one that you wanted to talk about in particular.
Oh, redemption stories that I want to talk about. This is also, I think, more broadly in like things that have, I think, aged well. Okay. And for me, outside of media, like the most important redemption story of my adult life is the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, this is the big one. This is the one that like
ICP in the year 2020, on this 2 weeks away from my 31st birthday, I can proudly say that I am down with the clown.
Absolutely.
And I hope that y'all can be down with them too. So like my first experience with the Insane Clown Posse. So I grew up in like a pretty affluent suburb of Chicago, and like so my only experience with them was a bunch of, I guess we would call them mall goths, or people that were like looking to start fights, etc. And they would just be very proudly like, "Oh, juggalos for life, whoop whoop," and it was like this weird thing from people that were already kind of on the outside of social circles, and I was the gay kid. I was already on the outside, but they were like on the other outside.
Mm.
And my experience with their music was like a lot of homophobia and stuff that was kind of crazy and felt very like shock jockey almost.
Yeah, I totally get that, because there's definitely an element of just trying to offend, I guess, you know? I mean, that kind of seems like their whole shtick. Like, it was to be the new hardcore, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be what it, even from Juggalos and the band and, like, that themselves have kind of said that they, like, that portion of the music really was about just, like, that was what the wave was. It's like, we're just gonna... I mean, you think about the other people that were popular in that era, like that was sort of like the era of Eminem, and like of like stirring up controversy, and homophobia was everywhere.
Yeah.
So, for me, you know, never encountered them again in high school until I started going on 4chan, and then like you encounter all the ICP memes, like in that age. So it's like again, that's kind of like, is this just like this weird thing that was at first like kind of trying really hard to be offensive? And now this community is like in juggalos and like kind of seeing a little bit more of it in online spaces and still being kind of weirded out. But then I encountered a documentary called American Juggalo that covers the gathering of the juggalos, and it once again kind of further opened my eyes to things. But it was actually, it's Violent J's daughter being a furry.
Yes.
That like really turned me around on it. And it's because now like, she gets swindled by this company, and they record a video, and it's like a Violent J just being a good dad and like bashing this company that ripped off his daughter. And then he commissions a fursuit for himself so that he can accompany her to conventions and she can be safe. And then they and testify.
It's so rad. The fact that he supported, instead of being like, "Wow, that's weird," it's like, yo, all right, this is cool. It's like I'm gonna get my own fursuit. I'll go through these conventions and stuff like that, and like it's so supportive and it's so fucking good. There was
it's dad goals.
Yeah, there was another, and this I probably posted this in Discord, but there was a quote from an interview not long ago where he's like, I can imagine like him talking like present day. I can imagine like someone who's just like finding out our music now and like getting into it, a gay fan, and they go back and listen to, you know, our older stuff and just being completely heartbroken. And he said like, I said to my daughters, like, if anyone ever comes to you and says like, oh, well, what about like, you know, this older stuff that they recorded, which is all like hateful and homophobic, and he's like, tell them that your dad was a fucking fool. Like, tell them he was an idiot, and that he's and that he's grown now and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, he's owning up to his mistakes and being like super like, okay, like, that fucking rules. Not even to be like, well, you know, it was a different time. It's like, no, it's like say I was an idiot, because I was. It's like I was being incredibly hateful, and it was wrong of me, and it was stupid of me.
And not only that, not only owning up and saying that was stupid and that was hateful and that was wrong of me, but he also comes in on that same point of, look, that he addresses that exact point. Like, that was the culture. We were going along with it. And that also was stupid.
Yep. That's right, I forgot.
You want to talk about like redemptions, like that is the real life redemption story. And it's like, so for me as like a very closeted queer person, to have that first experience with ICP of being like, this is really like homophobic, and like this is like not, doesn't seem like this is a space for someone like me, to now seeing this of like the shift both in the on like the community as I see it through online spaces, but even in like the members of the group themselves, of just being like, it's about family. Juggalos are about family, and that means, you know, like if you're gay, if you're straight, whatever, like you're welcome here. And like it makes me want to revisit some of that stuff and like discover, or I guess like visit for the first time like their music, because I've never listened to the Insane Clown Posse. I just become a fan of the Insane Clown Posse via cultural osmosis.
Well, I think we've all, as people who have spent too much time online, we have all probably listened to their song about magnets.
That's the one. That's the one that I listened to.
Yeah.
Fucking magnets. How do they work? But even that song, like I went back to, and like I was a hoity and pretentious shithead honor student in college when I heard that. And I was like, oh, they don't want to talk to scientists? Ha ha ha. I am a scientist, said an undergrad lab assistant. I don't even know what my volunteer. I wasn't even like a real person. But that turns around then, and I'm looking back on it, I'm like, no, I get it now. They're like, don't explain this to me in scientific terms. They're describing the fundamental experience of awe. And like, this is so beautiful. Like, I don't need to like understand like that the rainbow is about light in like water droplets and diffusion. Fuck that noise. It's pretty.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's an energy that I think a lot of us need in our lives.
So, okay, this is kind of like, I looked up the lyrics to it, right? And the very first verse: if magic is all we've ever known, then it's easy to miss what really goes on. But I've seen miracles in every way, and I see miracles every day.
That's beautiful.
Listen, they may present these lyrics in an unconventional way, but good message.
You know,
good message.
It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I think at this point I've learned a lot about myself and like over quarantine, and I think I'm down with the clown. And I've actually I've been talking to a friend of mine who's in the same boat as me, where she's decided like, I've never listened to the Insane Clown Posse, but I'm interested. Like, I want to know, because like this is the elements of a good redemption story, of a thing that it goes well, of just like, look, like we've seen it play out in real time, of like, in a very rare example of people that have like, of performers growing as people, looking back and being like, no, I was stupid, I was wrong. Like when you look at the old stuff, it's like, I struggle a lot with Death of the Artist. This is one where I can look back on it and be like, wait, maybe the artist was like, it's almost like the reverse, where instead of finding out the artist was a shitty person, it's like, wow, realizing that the artist has grown and like is critical of their former work in a way that like allows you to appreciate it in a different lens.
Can I have...
Are you reading lyrics still?
There's one more that I have to read out loud.
Read it.
This may actually be the secret the secret final boss for lyrics in this song.
That's a good.
I fed a fish to a pelican at Frisco Bay. It tried to eat my cell phone. He ran away.
Are we doing dramatic readings of Insane Clown Posse lyrics?
Oh my god.
All right, I'm gonna take a crack at this here.
God, so good.
I mean, for what it's worth, for all the memes about the song Miracles, it is still better than Jay-Z's verse on Monster.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
that's setting a low bar there.
It's better than Kanye's verse on Monster.
Still a low bar.
It's on par with Rick Ross's verse on Monster.
There we go.
As you run through my jungles, all you hear is rumbles. Kanye West samples. Here's one, for example.
Oh my god.
Just imagine Rick Ross is like a circus ring. Here's one, for example. Oceans spanning beyond my sight, and a million stars way above 'em at night. We don't have to be high to look in the sky and know that's a miracle opened wide. It's powerful.
Long neck giraffes, pet cats and dogs. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Hot lava, snow, rain and fog. Long neck giraffes, pet cats and dogs.
It's just like
I love that it rhymes. I love that it all follows
really
like AABVCC rhyme scheme.
I think that I needed to turn almost 31 before I could really develop the life experience to appreciate the Insane Clown Posse. So look forward to my forthcoming podcast where my friend, who is also in the same position, and I may actually go on a journey, and we may actually try to revisit from the get-go, the Insane Clown Posse discography, and discuss the impacts that Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope have had on us as adults.
I can't get past that pelican line. It's just staring at me. I fed a fish to a pelican at Frisco Bay. It tried to eat my cell phone. He ran away. Who is he? Is he the pelican? Is he his friend? I have so many questions.
This is some Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner shit. Like, this is the pelican a stand-in for a different bird? Perhaps an albatross?
Pelican society?
Do we live in the pelican society?
Oh my god. Who ran and what are they running from?
Sometimes you're the pelican, sometimes you're the cell phone. Here's
and sometimes you're the fish.
It's a brutal society. I've seen shit that'll shock your eyelids. The sun and the moon and even Mars. The Milky Way and fucking shooting stars.
Oh, I love it. This song is such a gift.
It's wonderful, and it's like it's memeable and you can joke on it, but it's like I stand by it that I think the emotional sentiment in here, it's energy that I need. Like going all the way back to like that lack of like work-life balance and the stress of everything, to just be like, look. Sometimes the ocean is just pretty, and you don't need to worry about other things.
Yeah, you don't have to know. Oh, why is this? How does this phenomenon work? It's just like, damn, take it at face value. Also,
rebellious positivity.
There you go. Yeah,
that's a good term. Yes. That's the title of the episode. Rebellious positivity.
I love it. Okay, can I submit a potential option B, also from this song?
Okay.
Magic everywhere in this bitch.
Yeah.
You can even use the B emoji. It's perfect.
That's what I was thinking. It's going to be a B emoji episode. I see. I know we can just keep reading this because there's like, you could take sections of this song. And you could just kind of put them somewhere in like a book of poetry, and I'd be like, that was okay. Then you tell me it's in a lyrics from an Insane Clown Posse song, and I'm like, now it's great.
I need to check one other thing. Oh no! Oh man, it is on Wikipedia. Not on Wikipedia, YouTube. You know, two really similar things there. Full movie on YouTube. Big Money Rustlers. That's right. The ICP
that's right.
Western
the videos.
movie.
There's the movies they made. Yeah.
Yep. They made a Western in 2010. Big Money, and I think there was also Big Money Hustlers too.
Yeah, there's Big Money Hustlers too.
That was, oh my god. Okay, well, I don't know if that one's on YouTube, but Big Money Rustlers is on YouTube, and I almost want to watch it. It comes in at a smooth 95 minutes.
That's a lean 95 right there.
You need to have a Yace movie night where we all just watch this movie.
That's a good idea. Maybe next week we could talk about Gundam. We could talk about Big Money, or we could do a double feature and we could talk about Big Money Hustlers and Big Money Rustlers.
we can't do it all in one podcast. We got them coming back for a little bit. Oh my god. Okay, hold on a second. I looked at the IMDb for Big Money Rustlers.
Oh my god. What did you
Violent
find?
J plays the character Big Baby Chips. Shaggy 2 Dope is Sheriff Sugarwolf.
Somehow that's better.
I don't know how to pronounce this person's last name, but someone plays a character called The Foot. Just The Foot. Someone plays a character named Raw Stank. This is okay. I need to get off the IMDb for Insane Clown Posse.
I think you need to get off the IMDb for
Closing
Big Money
tabs.
Rustlers.
Closing tabs. I think that closes out our podcast tonight as well.
Yeah, I know this was kind of off kilter a little bit, so let's put it back in. Redemption stories. ICP, homophobic, bad. Actually did the work and have actually owned and made public comments about their past homophobia and transgressions. And I'm going to say, I know I said that Les Miserables was my favorite redemption story. Jean Valjean's struggle to be a man of God in a world where he is constantly befret by violence and threats from his past. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, I think the Insane Clown Posse has the same literary value and character as Les Miserables, and that the story of Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope hasn't yet been finished and may actually exceed the literary value of Les Miserables.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting all my cards on the table.
Alrighty. I got nothing to add there. Thank you so much, everybody who has joined in and listened to this podcast today. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Velius, for joining me here tonight. This was... Hold on, let me double-check the episode number. Episode 16 of the YASEcast. After messing up the numbers last week and potentially the week prior to that, I was like, let me just double-check. I am Lamo. As always, Morgan Velius. Morgan, where can the people find you?
You can find me on twitter.com at fog_e. You can find me at Twitch at the same. And I'm trying to get a little bit back into it. I took a little bit of a hiatus there, but especially with Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme Versus 2 Maximum Boost on coming out, it's been fun to be streaming Gundam and occasionally Grand Blue as well.
Velius, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at _Velius and blogging at realbattleonfilm.wordpress.com.
And you can find me, Lamo, on Twitter at Lamo_SD. And you can find me by leaving 2 quarters underneath a rock outside of your bedroom window. The next day, I will leave a note for you. Don't worry, I'll find it. And that's all for episode 16. I'm getting a look from Morgan. Fear, confusion, both?
Mostly fear.
Mostly fear. Okay, good. Some powerful emotions to carry us through the next week into episode 17. We will see you then. Have a great week.